Hey, welcome to the Sisterhood of the Traveling Bantha. We are your hosts, Denise
and Rexy, and we are recording with special support from Council Member Mark Collier.
And we're broadcasting from our galaxy to yours.
May the force be with you.
Always.
Hey, Herd.
What's that for?
We have, I don't know, like a fun little, like, bonus extra.
A little quick episode.
Yeah, because, if you're a fellow nerd, then you know that Free Comic Book Day just happened. May 4th, wasn't it? May 4th was
It's
also
the first Saturday of May, I believe.
Yeah.
Every year.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, that's why
Okay.
it fell on May 4th.
That's cool. Okay. I didn't know that was just like it's always on May 4th.
No.
Okay. But this year for May 4th, I know you were wrapped up doing some really fun stuff with your youngling, which we'll get to in just a minute. And I was here in town doing Star Wars stuff. I did. It was such a busy day. We had a cystic fibrosis walk. We had a hospital visit. Like we played video games with the kids. We got a Jedi playing Beat Saber. But also that was for Comic Book Day. So in the middle of all of the different groups and activities we were doing, we popped by Impulse, our favorite local comic book shop. Shout out to Impulse. And we picked up some free comic books.
I like the concept of Free Comic Book Day because it's a nice way to get a preview of some of the stuff that is coming out in the upcoming year. So they give just small tidbits, about 8 to 10 pages from upcoming comics. And it's also like a great way to lure. Never mind. I'm not gonna go where I was gonna go. But it's a great way to introduce kids to comics.
Lure them in.
I was gonna say lure in the children, but
Lure the children into the dark side.
Don't want to lure children into comic books.
We do want to lure children into comic books, right? It makes you read.
We want to encourage children to read comic books by giving out free comics. That is a much better way to approach that statement.
Okay, that's fair.
We want to be positive and encourage reading. Fun fact, kids who read comics and manga are actually exposed to a lot more words than kids who read books. Yeah, there's like such a large variety of words, and then they can, and what's nice is too, they can associate the words with pictures to help also grasp the meaning of words too. So comics are great for children to read.
That's rad.
I
didn't know that.
Yeah.
I wasn't really allowed to have comics as a kid, but it wasn't for like, not for the reasons you would think. It wasn't because it was like they were bad or anything like that. I'm a stupidly fast reader. Like audiobooks are different because it's hard for me to focus. But like a physical book, I can sit down and read a 500-page book. Like I'll be done with it. And so they were like, we were kind of broke for a while when I was a kid. We were just like, you can't. You read too fast. Like my grandma would not buy me comics.
Expensive hobby then if you're a fast reader.
Yes.
Your comics.
So I didn't get comics. I got large novels.
Lisa's breaking stuff.
We'd already broke stuff.
But now what's cool is like Marvel. They have the Marvel subscription for like $10 a month, and you can like read everything online.
That's super cool.
Yeah, so there's ways around it. Also, comic shop. If you like get the subscription through the comic shop, they'll give you discounts.
Oh, that's also really cool.
They'll pass it on because it's like guaranteed money for them. And if they're like constantly subscribed to getting those in, they get a discount.
Yeah.
Okay. Not all comic shops pass that along.
Okay.
I don't want to say all of them. Some don't. I'm not going to name names.
But some do. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Why we switched to Impulse when we were going getting all our comics because the previous place was not passing along discounts, but Impulse was.
Cool. Okay. Nice. And I know that there's a few different comic book shops here in town, so like kind of no matter what you're looking for in your shop, you can find it. Yeah. But back to Impulse. So we swung by Impulse. And I picked up kind of a variety. I know I picked up like a Ninja Turtles comic and a Star Trek comic and some other like fun ones. But really
Star
focused.
Trek.
Aren't you Trekkie? Do you know Star Trek too?
I grew up on Star Trek.
I thought so. I was like, wait a minute. What universe did we just
I
jump
grew
to?
up on the original Star Trek, and then I watched Next Gen with my dad. He was in
okay.
He was also in the fan club.
That's
So
neat.
we have like all of the VHSs still. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I wish that I would have got into it as a child. Eric got me into Star Trek. So I was very insistent that if we're gonna watch it like beginning to end.
That's a
So
lot.
I know, I'm just watching Star Trek for the rest of my life. But we've gotten through the original series, and we also got through I think the first season of TNG. I want to say we're on season 2, might be on season 3 of TNG. I'm really liking it. I didn't love the first season. It was kind of, they were just like trying to figure out who they were. I think
Shows first seasons are usually kind of hit and miss because they are introducing, they're getting into the groove of working with this new cast,
learning their own characters
and learning to become learning how to become comfortable with their characters.
Sure. Okay.
And vibing off each other. So
But then by season 2, they're like,
Usually,
oh, we got this.
yeah.
Okay, so speaking of the Star Wars comics I picked up, and we'll drop some pictures in here to make it a little bit easier for what we're talking about. But this first one I picked up was Marvel #1 for Star Wars, and it has 2 action-packed stories featuring Darth Vader, Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, and more classic characters. So
Vader wasn't even in the first one.
I know Vader's in the second one.
I didn't pay attention. I'm not gonna lie, when I read these, I was already annoyed and had a headache, so
That's fine.
I'm probably gonna have a very moody response to these comments.
That's okay. This first one takes us back to Hoth.
Yes.
So I really like. I'm not gonna go through the entire story. Basically, we know that there were some rebels left behind on Hoth.
So before you get into this is called Return to the Echo Base.
Sorry. Yeah. Return to Echo Base.
If you want to get
In case you want to read it, read the rest of it. Yeah, so we know that when they escaped from Hoth, there were rebels left behind. So this story basically focuses on a rescue mission to go back and get them and free them, bring them back, basically. So they have
But I don't even think they were sure that they were there. It was an old encrypted signal that they were reading, but they still wanted to send some people there just to ensure that there weren't people left over.
that was sucked.
Which I guess is kind of nice.
Yeah, they're sending out an SOS and they're like, it's old. There's probably nobody there. I don't think we'll bother.
So, in not Wallace, but the Outer Rim, and so
it's not easy to get to. It's an ice planet. But they go anyway. They send people back. And so we have Leia and Luke on this mission.
and Lando and Chewie.
I love it. Anytime Lando pops up, I just love it.
So I don't know why you're going to send your big bad heroes on this small rescue mission in the middle of a war.
It doesn't make any sense. Maybe that could be relegated to some people who aren't quite as experienced.
And send one of your best ships out. I didn't understand. I'm like, why of all the people are we just gonna? Oh, we might need to rescue some people. I told you, I'm
Let's send
very
4 of
Debbie
our-
Downer
It's
on this whole
fine.
thing.
You're right, though. It doesn't make sense. Let's send, like you said, one of our best ships and 4 of our best fighters
The Jedi,
on
the
a
only
rescue
Jedi
mission.
in the Empire, and send them on a possible rescue
We
mission.
don't even know that there's for sure people there. But they did. And since they did, we got some really great callbacks.
There are some great callbacks. And the artwork in it is actually really good.
Oh, yeah, you're right. The artwork
The
is really
artwork
good.
is good. And half of the comic is the artwork, and I thought it was very good.
Who does the artwork for this?
It is. Charles Scholl is the writer? Um, Abram Robertson.
Okay.
I am like knocking into everything.
It's
This
fine.
is a hot mess today.
Something I really loved, once we got into the story, they were looking for shelter. And they ended up back in the same cave where Luke was hanging upside down and he got captured by the Wampa. Chewie comes walking out with the arm. There was like a frozen
yeah.
Wampa arm that he chopped off was still hanging out in the cave. So he shows up with it and he's like, "Ooh, we can eat this."
So the guy who wrote this, he's the one that wrote the Light of the Jedi.
Oh, really?
High Republic, yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's why his name sounds familiar. That makes sense.
So he
Okay.
wrote that. Like, oh, High Republic. I am loving
Yeah.
Justina Ireland's take on things. Claudia Gray.
Oh, I know.
On you.
I don't know what happened, but I know Denise is mad.
Denise has been in motion right for like a week.
And we're gonna say it's Claudia's fault, I think.
It is Claudia's fault. I don't cry in books.
Oh yeah. Speaking, here's Light of the Jedi. Yeah.
I don't cry in books, but I bawled my eyes out in this book. And then after it was finished, like, it was not cool.
Okay.
I don't like being vulnerable.
Okay. Let's move on from Denise crying and being vulnerable to Young Jedi. Because this was an adorable comic. Did you get a chance to read
I
this
read
one?
it.
The creatures are so cute.
Yeah, and so
I just want to turn them all into stuffies.
this is based off of a cartoon for pre-Kers.
Okay.
So like 4 to 5-year-olds. 3 to 5
okay.
year olds.
Okay.
It's on Disney Plus, but if it was like on TV, it would be like Disney Junior.
Oh, okay.
So it's geared.
That makes sense for the story. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I needed a little bit more depth.
Yeah. I was
Depth
like,
on
man,
it.
it's very much like a kid's story.
It is. Because they're
It was
kids.
really freaking cute though. Like the artwork's adorable. And the story basically, because it is geared towards little kids, it's all about this group of younglings who get to meet a group of Padawan that are being trained by Master Yoda, and they're very excited. And something happens, and whoops, there's big scary things, and the younglings get to ride in and save the day.
For kids ages between 3 and 5.
Okay. That makes sense why the artwork is so cute. I mean, like, I don't know if you guys can see this. Look at this thing.
That's nubs. But yeah, this takes place 232 years before the Battle of Yavin, which I think also takes place roughly around the same time as the High Republic.
Okay.
Yes, takes
Yeah,
place around
okay.
the same time as Phase 1 of the High Republic.
Okay,
I'm sorry,
Kind of
everything
works
is
out that
going
we're
back
reading this. Yeah.
to the High Republic.
I
But
kind of dig it though.
that would also explain why Yoda's teaching these Padawans, why we don't really see him in the books as well.
Right. So he's busy.
But he was
Yep.
also on a sabbatical for a while.
Yeah, he left for a long time.
Like 50 years. or
Yeah.
something like that.
So part of that could have been this, training.
Oh my god, could you imagine being... Okay, what book are you on in Phase 1?
I'm still on Into the Dark.
Oh, so you're on book 2.
Yeah.
I could not imagine being a youngling training. All that shit's going
Oh
on.
my god.
Oh,
No kidding.
you haven't even touched
Oh,
the surface.
okay. All right.
Haven't even begun to touch the surface.
I feel like I should prepare myself. Well, I guess if Denise is crying, I'm in trouble.
Don't cry.
So that is the Young Jedi Adventures.
But so did you pick up on how they actually had like a life lesson in there of learning how to work with others despite not having, they couldn't communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Just learning how to be patient and communicating with each other. Also, it had the life lesson of you can't control what's not there.
Right.
You can control what's around you more. And the
there was
focus
the one
on
youngling who could not communicate with anybody, right? Like,
that was Nub.
uh,
But then they also had the other one who was worried, and they were like, well, we can't.
oh yeah, because he
We
was like,
can't
"I'll be
worry
with
about
you. I'll
him."
be your translator. I'll help you," and then they got separated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then they were like, well, what if something happens to him? They're like, I know you're worried about your friend, but we're down here and there's nothing we can do to help him, so let's just focus on what's going on here.
Right.
So
And trust him too.
he can take care
Yeah,
of himself
and he
while we
did.
take care of our situation. And so, yeah, Disney Junior or kids shows always have some sort of life
Okay.
lesson in them.
Good job. Comic book. And it's adorable. Okay, so I don't know if this one had a Sky Parade Rescue. Yeah, the story in the Young Jedi Adventures is called the Sky Parade Rescue.
Yeah.
And then the last one that we
I
found.
did not get into this one. Oh my
This one
god.
was bananas.
What the hell was it? Like,
So I think literally like the comic got a Star Wars story because it was on me. I think that's why. Because this one, the last one we picked up was Tons of Strange. Yeah. And we open.
first
open.
thing, which was a red flag, was the Jawas.
Look at these. Oh, and this story, by the way, is called The Saturday Night Sip and Savor. So it's supposed to be like one of those like sip and paint, things
But
where you
they're
like you come together,
Sipping and building
sipping and building lightsabers. So yeah, we open with this. These are the Jawas, and it just says somewhere.
Obviously, it's Tatooine and Jabba's palace.
Yep. So yeah, it's a bunch of these characters that are characters, but also not characters. Like this,
Cow.
there's a cow and this guy kind of looks like he might be like a Han Solo creature, but he's.
There's one that made me
I
think
don't-
of Ren and Stimpy.
Oh my gosh. Which one?
That one right there
Oh yes.
made me think
The
of
artwork is very Ren
and Stimpy.
Yep. And that's
when I was a kid, my
Me
dad
too.
hated it, and my
Aw.
babysitter nanny would always get me the VHS of it because she knew my dad hated
Babysitter's
it.
rule.
And we didn't have cable, so I could still watch the Ren and Stimpy.
We have things like this going on. So this is apparently what happens when you get drunk and build lightsabers.
I think I can make a good lightsaber.
Yeah, I bet you could. I'm not sure how mine would. No,
I'm
I tried
still
to build
pretty
a lightsaber
functional
drunk.
when I drink. I can still compute math,
Yeah.
talk, and pick out the correct words. Maybe not so much, but throw me a math problem, I could probably do it.
Okay. Okay.
Hey,
I could not. I get pretty unfunctional when I've been drinking.
I know.
Like you've been there once or twice. As might have been expected, we end the story with them blowing up the place. So this is just a little taste of what I picked up for us from Free Comic Book Day from Impulse, our favorite
But
comic
it was
shop here
very
in town.
Rexy comment.
Oh yeah, I loved it. I loved it. It was completely absurd.
It was 100% absurd.
It was fun.
It was fun. Did you read the second one and the other one?
Mm-mm.
It had Sabe in it.
Oh, nice. No, I haven't gotten there yet. I read basically the first one in each one because I knew that's what we were going to talk about, and then I didn't.
The second one is Planet and Zombies, but the second one had Sabe in it, and it had Darth Vader in it.
That's super cool. That's why he was on the cover.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it features both Luke and his top
Luke and Daddy. Luke and Papa.
Daddy Vader. But yeah, Free Comic Book Day is a great way to learn about the comics. I was just talking to somebody. I'm so into all these stupid Harry Potter books. I kind of want to get more into the comics, but I'm like,
Oh, I know.
guys, there's so many comics in Star Wars right now. There's literally comics come out every single Wednesday. Every Wednesday, and there's usually at least 2 to 4 comics that are coming out every week that are tied to different storylines,
That's so much.
which is a lot, but it's also really nice because there's literally a comic for every type of fan.
Nice.
There
Okay.
are,
So you can kind of just follow different tracks.
so there's High Republic comics, there's Mandalorian comics, there are hyperspace switches. I want to say like sequel-esque comic.
Okay.
Then you have the Doc Opera, which is
Oh,
Alfra, which is a
yeah.
huge fan favorite. She gets all kinds of love in the comics because she works
Okay.
with Vader. So there's a lot of Vader comics as well. There's a Yoda run. There's a Vader run. There's droids. There's the Dark Droids and regular, like 2 different Dark Droid comic series.
There's no way that I would be able to. Not like keep up with the books and the shows and the movies and somehow every single comic run.
There's
Like, I just
so-
could not.
So many of them. But like I said, there's something literally for everybody.
Oh, that's really cool.
Everybody. I'm punching this like microphone like crazy tonight. I am so sorry. Yeah, so I picked up a few. I typically like to go get variant covers during March. They got usually have a lot of cool women variant covers.
Yeah.
And then in June they have a lot of variant covers for
Cool.
the
Women's Month and then Pride. And
yes. And so there are a lot, which is really cool. There are a lot more LGBTQ plus characters in the comics. Like it's very like there's a good presence in there. So a lot of times what they'll do is for the comics that have those characters in there, they'll create a variant cover for those characters.
That's rad.
Yeah,
I like that. That's super cool.
yeah, it's really cool.
American comic covers are usually like there's some that are always really fun too, like holographic or
Mm-hmm. But then there's sometimes they have variant covers that have absolutely nothing to do with the comic. There's a few of those.
okay. Somebody was just like, I want this. I'm gonna make it.
Or there might be like one line about Leia. So they're like, here's our Leia variant cover.
Well, people will buy Leia. I mean, that makes sense from a
Yeah.
money standpoint. Ooh, man, it's great. So, we actually need to get going because we've got to go live. 10 minutes.
Yeah. So
If you guys stopped by any of the comic shops on Free Comic Book Day, what did you pick up? Did you happen to get any of the same ones that we grabbed? Did you like them? Do you like what you grabbed?
I need to go to Impulse. See what they got.
Yeah.
Yeah. My brain is like,
We're both kind of tired.
it's been a very long day. Yeah, so let us know if you are, like Rexy said, reading any comics. Share with us some of your favorite comics. Yeah. So, from our galaxy to you.
And the Force Cookie.
Oh, you're waiting for me to.
Yeah.
Denise was not picking up on those cues.
It's okay.
Thank you for listening to Sisterhood of the Traveling Bantha, written and produced by Denise McKay.
Edited and produced by Rexy Jupiter. Original logo designed by Tyler Rigney.
Intro and outro music is provided by the Galactic Empire.
You can find us on all streaming platforms at Travel and Bantha.
And join our Discord for fun-filled galaxy chats.
You can also sign up for our Patreon starting at just $3. You get exclusive episodes, merch, behind the scenes, and more.
And a special thanks to all our Jedi Knight members and higher. We have Rooney, Michael Beavers, Mark Collier, and James Peak. From our galaxy to yours,
May the Force be with you.
always.